Okay, so, building a custom home,
Right.
it's a big deal for anyone.
You joke, yeah.
But when you're a veteran or active duty military, it kind of it takes on a whole other level of meaning.
Absolutely. I think it's that feeling of you've earned this, right?
Yes.
Like you've served your country, you've done your duty.
You've absolutely got these incredible benefits available to you.
Right. And now you can use those benefits to build the exact home that you want.
Yes, to create that space that's perfectly, tailored to your needs.
Right. That's customized to your life.
And the VA loan program is there to help make that happen. But
right.
I think where people often hit a snag is when they start looking into the whole, financing of building from scratch.
It's tricky. It's tricky.
Construction loans, right?
Because it is a different beast than just your typical mortgage.
Right, and that's exactly what we're unpacking for you today. We want to help kind of cut through that confusion because there's a really smart, streamlined way to approach this, and it's all centered around the VA one-time close loan or OTC loan.
Right.
Think of it as your shortcut to getting that new home built
Without
all the back and forth of
yeah.
the older methods, that often involve juggling two separate loans.
Yes, that was the old way of doing it, and it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
I mean, you would have one loan just for the construction period.
Right.
And then once the house was finished,
Right.
you'd have to go through the entire process again to get a permanent mortgage. So you're talking 2 closings, 2 sets of fees,
Right.
2 underwriting approvals. It was just a lot.
Yeah, huge headache.
And the VA one-time close loan it just eliminates all of that.
Yeah, the clue's in the name. One time.
One and done.
One application, one qualification process.
Well,
and you have just one closing meeting.
exactly.
And that all happens
before anything even starts.
before you even break ground.
Yep.
This single loan handles everything it can, cover the cost of buying the land if you need it. It pays for the entire construction of your home as it goes, and then it automatically becomes your permanent mortgage.
Being seamless.
It's pretty ingenious, designed with veterans in mind.
Absolutely. It's a way to honor your service and make this process a little bit easier.
Yes, definitely. And so let's dive into one of the biggest questions right off the bat, zero down payment.
Okay.
When you're talking about building a brand new house, it almost sounds too good to be true.
It does.
So is it really possible with a VA one-time close loan?
It is. It really is for eligible veterans and active duty service members who are within those VA loan limits, building a home with zero down payment.
Wow.
Using the one-time close loan is absolutely a possibility.
Amazing.
This is one of the cornerstones of the VA loan program.
Right.
And it's one of the things that makes it so powerful.
And it extends to this construction loan option as well.
Correct. It covers both.
That's a major financial advantage, isn't it? Think about keeping your savings for things like furniture, landscaping, all those unexpected costs that always seem to pop up during a move.
You always need cash.
This zero down payment option specifically for building is a really unique benefit of VA loans.
It sets it apart from conventional loans.
Okay.
And really gives veterans a huge leg up financially.
Yeah, it's huge. Instead of tying up, a big chunk of money up front, you can start building equity from day one.
That's right.
And preserving your savings for other essential needs.
You got it.
It's about maximizing the benefit and minimizing the burden.
Exactly. Minimizing that initial financial burden.
Okay, now another aspect of VA loans that I know people often want to understand is the funding fee.
Okay.
What exactly is that all about in the context of a one-time close loan?
The VA funding fee is something that's charged on most VA loans, and it includes the one-time close. It's basically a one-time payment that helps the Department of Veterans Affairs to keep the VA loan program running.
Got it.
So it's for future generations.
So it's ensuring that this program continues to exist.
Exactly. Think of it as you're contributing to the well-being of future veterans.
Okay.
So it's a good thing.
And I understand the amount of this fee can vary.
It does, yes. It's not a fixed number.
Depending on a few factors.
Right. It depends on a couple of things like your service history.
Okay.
So if this is your first time using a VA loan,
right,
the fee will be different than if you've used it before.
Okay.
And it also depends on whether you choose to make a down payment.
Got it.
Which, of course, as we've discussed, you don't have to do with the OTC loan.
You don't have to, but if you do, that will affect the funding fee.
It will adjust it.
Okay. But the good news for many is that you don't necessarily have to pay that fee out of pocket at closing.
That's right. You can actually roll it into your loan amount.
So you don't need to come up with that extra cash up front.
Exactly. It can just be part of your overall financing.
Wow, that's great. What's also important to know is that some veterans, particularly those with service-connected disabilities,
Right.
may be completely exempt
Yes, that's true.
from paying the funding fee altogether.
If you have a service-connected disability, you may not have to pay the fee at all.
That's definitely something you'd want to look into
Absolutely.
if it applies to you.
Talk to a specialist.
And if all this talk about the funding fee still feels a bit murky,
Right.
or if you want to know how it specifically applies to your individual situation,
We got you covered.
we have experts standing by who can help if you have any questions about the VA funding fee and how it relates to your situation.
Yes, give us a call.
Please call our VA loan specialist at 888-857-8041.
888-578-041.
They can provide personalized guidance.
Absolutely. Our team is there to support you and give you the clarity you need.
Okay, great. So let's move on to another fundamental aspect of building. The land itself.
The dirt.
What if you haven't yet found or purchased the perfect piece of property?
Right. What if you're still looking?
Can the VA one-time close loan help with financing the land as well?
Yes, it can.
So if you've identified that, perfect location to build your dream home but still need to purchase the land, the VA OTC loan can often cover the cost of that land,
Yep.
in addition to all the construction expenses for your new house.
That's the beauty of it. It's really a comprehensive solution,
Yeah, literally from the ground up.
from finding that lot to moving in.
Okay, so it really can be a start-to-finish financing solution.
It can.
You find the land, you design your home, and it's all handled under this one single loan.
Yep.
With
Yeah.
that one closing that we talked about, that sounds far less complicated
Way less stressful.
than trying to secure separate financing just for the land.
I mean, who wants to deal with multiple lenders?
Right.
Multiple sets of paperwork?
No.
It's a nightmare. The one-time close loan really does streamline everything.
It integrates the entire financial process, making it much more streamlined and manageable
Exactly.
for a veteran looking to build.
It's all about simplifying that journey to home ownership.
Now let's delve a bit deeper
Okay.
into that single closing process.
Huh.
What are the key steps
Right.
that happen before any construction actually begins?
So before any shovels hit the dirt.
What does that involve for the borrower?
All right, so first things first,
Yes.
you're going to complete a loan application. Pretty standard.
As with any loan.
Exactly. Just like getting a regular mortgage,
Yeah.
you're going to provide your financial information, employment history, all that good stuff.
So the lender will then conduct their due diligence, which includes verifying income review and credit history,
Right. Making sure everything checks out.
assessing your overall financial profile.
Yep.
Okay. And a critical step in the OTC loan process is the appraisal.
The appraisal, yes, this is important.
But instead of appraising an existing structure,
Right, because there isn't one yet.
the appraisal is based on the detailed plans
Exactly.
and specifications you have for your new home.
So you'll have your blueprints,
Right.
your construction plans, all of the details about what you're going to build, and the appraiser will look at that.
So the appraiser is evaluating the future value based on the blueprints.
That's right. They're saying, okay, based on these plans, this is what we think this home will be worth once it's built.
And the proposed construction?
Exactly.
Okay, once the lender has thoroughly reviewed all of this information and you receive final loan approval,
You're almost there.
then you'll attend that single closing meeting.
Right, the big day.
This is where you'll sign all the necessary legal and financial paperwork.
All the signatures.
What's particularly important to understand is that these closing documents cover both the initial construction phase of the loan,
Right.
the period when funds will be dispersed
Yeah.
to build the house, and your final permanent home loan that will kick in once construction is complete.
So it's all wrapped up in one neat package.
It's one closing for everything.
One and done.
And it's at this point during this one closing that you essentially lock in your final mortgage interest rate.
That's right.
That sounds like a significant benefit
It is.
in terms of financial predictability.
Huge benefit, especially in today's market.
Yeah. So with the VA OTC loan, you're not locked into that long-term rate
Right.
at the beginning,
Yep.
which could be
Risky.
risky. Yeah, if interest rates happen to
Go down.
decrease, yeah, during the construction period.
You don't want to be stuck with a higher rate if rates drop.
So with the OTC loan,
Yeah.
they don't lock you in immediately.
Right.
You have some
Or
flexibility.
typically with these single close construction loans, the interest rate that applies during the actual construction phase
Right.
often floats.
It floats. It's usually tied to something like the prime rate
Okay,
plus a margin that the lender sets.
got it.
And during this period, you're usually making interest-only payments
Okay,
on the funds that have been dispersed for the construction progress.
Got it. So as the construction progresses,
Right.
they're drawing down on the loan.
Exactly. They're taking out what they need.
And you're just making interest payments on the amount that's been drawn.
It keeps your payments low during the construction phase.
Okay.
Because you're not paying down principal yet.
Got it.
You're just covering the interest.
Okay. Now here's where it gets really interesting.
Here we go.
Your permanent fixed mortgage interest rate
Okay.
isn't typically locked in
Right.
until the construction is substantially complete
That's right.
or very near the point of completion.
So you wait until the very end.
Okay, so if market interest rates happen to go down during that build period,
Right.
which can often span
It can be a while.
anywhere from 9 months
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
well over a year,
Easy.
you have the real potential to secure that lower prevailing market interest rate
That's the beauty of
for
it.
the entire term of your permanent mortgage.
You can lock in at a lower rate and save a ton of money over the life of your loan.
That's precisely the benefit. It's all about timing the market to your advantage.
Okay, so by having the flexibility
Right.
to lock in a potentially lower interest rate once construction is nearing completion,
Yes.
you can directly translate that into lower monthly mortgage payments
That's
for
what
the
I'm wondering.
duration of your loan.
Whether it's a 15-year, 20-year, or 30-year loan.
That could be a huge amount of savings.
Yeah, it could be thousands of dollars over the life of the loan.
Now, obviously, it's always possible that rates could also rise
That's true.
during that construction period.
Rates could go up.
But this structure uniquely positions you to take advantage of potential downward shifts
Right.
in the market,
It gives you a chance to win.
which is an opportunity you often miss out on
Yeah.
when you lock in a rate much earlier.
With a traditional construction loan, you're locked in right from the start, so you miss out on any potential savings.
Okay, so for the latest information on rate lock policies
Okay.
and the specific advantages of the VA one-time close loan,
Give us a call.
we encourage you to speak with our loan specialists
We'd love to chat.
at 888-857-8041.
888-578-041.
They can provide detailed explanations tailored to your individual circumstances.
Absolutely, we're here to help.
Okay, that flexibility
Yeah.
and the potential for substantial long-term savings sound.
It's a big deal.
Incredibly valuable, especially in an uncertain economic landscape.
You never know what's going to happen with interest rates, so
That-
it's good to have options.
Right, it's like having a built-in opportunity
Yeah, a safety net.
to benefit
If rates go down,
if market conditions improve while your home is being built.
you're protected.
Okay, now let's discuss another area where the one-time close loan really shines.
Right.
Closing costs.
Okay.
Anyone who has ever bought or refinanced a home
Right.
knows that those fees can add up,
Oh, yeah.
very quickly and significantly impact your overall costs.
It can be thousands of dollars.
You've got appraisal fees, title insurance,
Recording fees,
recording fees,
lender fees,
lender origination fees,
sometimes even attorney fees.
maybe even attorney
There's
fees.
a lot.
Yeah,
Goes
it-
on and on.
What can seem endless.
And the worst part is, with the traditional method of getting a construction loan
Right,
and then a permanent mortgage,
right.
you're paying those fees twice.
Ouch! You're essentially paying for two closings.
Exactly. You're closing on the construction loan,
Right.
and then you're closing again on the permanent mortgage.
That sounds like a significant amount of money being spent just on fees and in administrative costs.
It's a lot of money that you could be using for upgrades or furniture or just keeping in your pocket.
So the beauty of the one-time close construction loan
Is that you avoid all of that?
is that you avoid all of that. You only have one closing,
One set of fees, one time.
one set of fees, one time.
That's it.
This streamlined approach can save you thousands and in some cases even tens of thousands of dollars
Easily.
right from the outset.
Yeah, right off the bat.
Wow, that's a substantial saving.
It's a game changer.
What could someone do with all that extra capital?
Oh, so many things.
They're not spending on duplicate closing costs.
You can use it to upgrade your finishes.
Oh, yeah.
You could put in that fancy kitchen countertop you've been dreaming of.
Right?
You could do some landscaping. You could put it towards your moving expenses,
Right.
or you could just put it in savings.
You could just keep it.
Exactly. It's your money.
The power of that single closing
It's huge.
to drastically reduce upfront costs is a major advantage of the VA one-time close loan.
Absolutely. It's one of the biggest selling points.
Okay, if you'd like to explore how much you might save on closing costs
Right.
with an OTC loan,
Give us a shout.
our experts are
I'm standing by.
at 888-578-8041 can provide you with a personalized estimate.
Absolutely. We can break down the numbers for you.
Okay, now another potential headache
Okay.
with that old two-loan system
To double close.
could be the need to requalify
Oh, yeah.
for that permanent mortgage.
Right.
After the entire construction process is finished,
You don't want to have to go through that again.
that sounds like it could create a lot of unnecessary stress.
Oh, it's a nightmare.
and uncertainty.
You're building your dream home.
Right.
You're making all these decisions.
Yes.
And then at the last minute, you have to requalify for a loan.
Right.
And what if something's changed?
What if something's changed in your life?
What if you lost your job?
Right. Or what if interest rates have skyrocketed?
Exactly. Or the lender's guidelines have tightened.
Imagine going through the entire journey
Right.
of designing and building your dream home, investing significant time, effort, and money,
Blood, sweat, and tears.
only to then face the uncertainty of having to requalify
Right as you're about to move in.
right before you're ready to move in.
It's terrible.
Life circumstances can change unexpectedly.
They do all the time.
Your job situation might shift.
You could get a promotion. You could get laid off,
Your income could fluctuate.
up or down.
Your credit score could dip for unforeseen reasons.
Yeah, life happens.
Or even the overall lending guidelines could become more stringent during your build period,
Right.
which, as we said,
Could be a year or more.
could last a year or more.
Easily.
Any of these factors could potentially jeopardize
Right.
your final mortgage approval
You could get denied.
under the traditional
Too close system.
too close system, or at the very least force you to accept
Less favorable terms.
less favorable loan terms at the last minute.
Exactly.
That sounds like a really nerve-wracking scenario.
It is. It's one of the biggest drawbacks of the old way of doing things.
All that time and effort invested.
Right.
And then you're not even completely sure if you can secure the long-term financing.
You're left hanging.
So thank goodness for the VA OTC loan.
Right.
The VA OTC loan provides invaluable peace of mind by requiring you to qualify for your permanent financing just once,
One time.
right at the very beginning of the process.
That's it.
Once you're approved
You're good to go.
and the initial loan closing takes place,
You can relax.
your permanent financing is essentially secured
Under the agreed upon terms
with that rate conversion happening
at the end.
at the end of construction, as we discussed.
Right.
This effectively removes
A huge layer of stress.
a huge layer of financial uncertainty and potential stress,
You can sleep at night.
allowing you to focus on the exciting aspects
Right.
of building your dream home, confident
You're in control.
that your long-term financing is already in place.
It's a done deal.
If you have any concerns about qualification requirements, please don't hesitate to call our team
We're happy to help.
at 888-578-8041. We can walk you through the process
Yeah.
and answer any questions you may have.
We're here to guide you every step of the way.
That peace of mind is truly priceless,
It is.
especially when you're undertaking such a significant project.
It takes a lot of the worry out of the equation,
It really simplifies the entire financial picture
and it lets you focus on the fun part.
and removes a major potential hurdle. And speaking of simplifying things,
Okay.
the sheer convenience of having just one loan to manage
One load, one lender.
throughout the entire process
It's simple.
must be a significant advantage in itself.
It really is. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
You're already making so many decisions when you're building a home.
Right, you're choosing countertops and
Flooring and appliances.
right, paint colors,
Landscaping.
well, all these details.
Do you really want to be dealing with two different lenders on top of all that?
Right.
It's just one more thing to worry about.
So the single closed construction loan pathway is inherently simpler and more efficient.
It is.
For you, the borrower, you're navigating one loan application process, submitting your financial documentation only once, communicating primarily with a single lending team
Right.
throughout the entire duration, and attending just one closing session.
You said it, one and done.
That sounds so much easier
Way easier.
than trying to coordinate and manage two separate loans potentially with different lenders and all the additional paperwork.
Right. All the back and forth.
Communication and logistical complexities that would inevitably
It's
involve.
a logistical nightmare.
It significantly reduces the overall administrative burden on you, freeing up your valuable time
Right.
and mental energy to focus on the actual design and construction
Let the professionals handle the
of
financing.
your new home.
You focus on building your dream.
Especially when you choose to partner
Right.
with a reputable turnkey builder
Yeah. Find a good builder
who is already very familiar
with the process.
with the intricacies of the OTC loan process.
They know the ins and outs.
It can lead to a remarkably smooth and stress-free experience.
Absolutely.
For more information on how a VA one-time closed loan can simplify your custom home build, call us at 888-578-8041.
888 578-041.
888-578-04. We're here to answer all your questions.
Okay, and once construction is finally complete,
Right.
and you're ready to move into your beautiful new home,
The big day. The transition to your permanent mortgage
should be seamless.
must be pretty seamless with the one-time close loan.
Absolutely.
Right.
No hiccups, no surprises,
No last-minute surprises.
all taken care of up front.
So once the final construction is completed, the builder is ready to hand over the keys.
Right.
And all the required final inspections have been successfully completed.
You're good to go.
Your loan simply converts from the construction phase,
Yep.
where you were likely making
Those interest-only payments?
those interest-only payments on the funds as they were drawn to the permanent mortgage phase,
Right.
where you begin making your regular principal and interest payments
Based on that fixed rate.
based on the fixed interest rate that was established at the initial closing.
So you've locked in your rate. You know exactly what your payments are going to be.
You know exactly what your payments are going to be.
No surprises.
No surprises. So no last-minute scrambling
No scrambling.
for a second closing.
Nope.
Or having to go through another round of underwriting.
You're done.
You're done.
It's a smooth transition into homeownership.
It's a seamless and straightforward shift into long-term homeownership,
That's it.
allowing you to start enjoying
Your brand new home.
your brand new home without any additional financial hurdles or complexities right at the very end of the process.
Just unpack and relax.
If you have any questions about the transition process, our team at 888-578-041 can provide detailed information.
We're here to help.
Okay, we touched on this earlier,
Right.
but it's definitely worth revisiting with a bit more detail because it's such a significant benefit, the ability to finance the purchase of the land
The land, yeah.
itself as part of the same one-time close loan.
So if you don't have your lot yet,
For veterans who haven't yet secured
their building sites,
their building lot, that sounds like a
game changer.
real game changer.
It is. It's a huge advantage.
So finding that perfect piece of land
Right.
is often the first exciting step
Yeah.
in the journey
It's the first step.
of building a custom home.
You got to find that perfect spot.
Many OTC construction loan programs are specifically structured to assist buyers who still need to acquire
Their building lot.
their building site.
Yeah.
These loans allow you to finance the purchase of the land and all the subsequent costs
Everything.
associated with the construction
All under one roof.
of your new home, all under the umbrella of a single loan,
That's right.
with everything finalized at that initial one-time closing.
One closing, one time.
So you don't have to go through the added hassle and expense
The headache.
of obtaining a separate loan just for the land, which I imagine could come with its own
Oh, yeah.
set of qualification requirements, closing costs, and interest rates.
It's like starting the process all over again.
It completely avoids the
Right.
need for a separate,
Often short term,
often short-term land loan,
which might have a higher interest rate.
which might also come with a higher interest rate and its own set of closing costs and qualification procedures by integrating the land acquisition financing. Together with the construction and permanent mortgage into a single loan, you significantly simplify your overall financial picture.
You're streamlining everything.
Reduce your total transaction costs and can get your entire custom home projects moving forward
Much faster.
much more quickly.
And more efficiently.
If you're looking to finance both land and construction
Right.
with a VA loan, call our experts
We're here.
at 888-578-041 to learn more about the one-time close option.
We'll walk you through it.
That integrated approach just makes so much sense
It does.
from a convenience
And a cost-saving perspective.
and cost-saving perspective. Now, we've used the term a couple of times, turnkey builder.
Turnkey builder.
For our listeners who might not be familiar with that term,
Correct.
could you explain exactly what a turnkey builder is and how they typically work in conjunction with a one-time close loan?
A turnkey builder is basically your one-stop shop for building a home.
Okay.
They handle everything from the design phase
Okay.
to the construction phase.
So they're managing the entire process.
Exactly. They take care of everything.
Okay. So this comprehensive service typically includes...
Everything from the initial design consultations,
Okay.
working with the architect, getting the plans drawn up,
Got it.
to navigating the permitting and approval process,
Okay.
which can be a headache,
Yes.
to managing all the different phases of construction, hiring the subcontractors, making sure the work is done to code and on time.
Okay.
They're your project manager, essentially.
So they essentially handle all the complexities and logistics involved in the build itself, allowing the homeowner a more hands-off experience during the construction phase.
You can relax and let them handle it.
How does that comprehensive approach typically align with the structure and requirements of a one-time close loan?
It aligns perfectly.
Because they're already familiar with all
They know the draw process.
they know the steps involved.
They know what the lenders are looking for.
Okay.
It just makes everything run smoother.
It sounds like it would make the entire process much smoother and more coordinated
Absolutely.
for everyone involved.
It's a win-win for everyone.
Lenders often view working with experienced design-build firms as representing a lower level of risk.
Right, because they have a track record.
Because